Hi, welcome back to Guitar Reese. I'm Reese, or Guitar Reese. You're probably thinking, hey, then that last great video we saw, you weren't bald. You weren't as bald as you are now. Well, I am. I get asked all the time, everywhere I go I get asked, and people are asking me, Reese, how do you write your guitar instrumentals? You know what I mean? And so today I just wanted to talk about actually my process and how I write instrumental guitar songs, and yeah, hopefully there'll be something helpful in there for you. So I also don't have a mic stand, so I'm just going to be picking up and putting down this mic throughout the whole thing. I'll get a mic stand at some point. This is a new mic that's pretty cool, though. So the first thing for me when I write a guitar instrumental song, and we're going to use the last song uploaded on my channel, so I think it's called How to Impress Polyphia with a Guitar in 60 Seconds, right? And there's like a tab for it there too. So for me, I always start with the melody of a song, and so this one was one that has been in my head for a long time before I wrote that song or recorded a version of it or whatever. And this one is in the key of B minor. I'm going to try and stay light on the theory in this video. I don't want to be just swamping the one theory, but I am going to reference scales and chords and keys, but I'll try and keep it as light as possible. So for this one, I just had this tune stuck in my head for a while, and I'll play you the tune. Okay, so for me, I was whistling that all the time. I was going, and it was very much a case of sort of a tune stuck in my head rather than me coming up with it. But I wanted to flesh it out, and one of the things I wanted to do with it was have a set of chords that tune could follow. And so it's in the key of B minor. Each note in a key has a chord in a key. And so I thought, well, I can move that tune through the chords top to bottom. So the first step was figuring out the chords, right? So if you know the chords in B minor, and if I know what I'm doing with editing, they'll magically appear above my head in this video. Then what I'll do is I'll highlight them as I play them through now. And you might start to see how they match the tune. So here's the chords in a row. Okay, so I had my little tune, I had my little chords, not my little chord, well, whatever. I had my chords that matched the tune, and so for me, so like I say, I wanted to make the tune play while I was playing the chords, because I've seen people do that, and I thought it was really cool, right? Like, it's like playing two guitars at once. So that was the first step for the song, was putting together the tune into some chords, because each one on its own is just either chords or a tune, and I wanted to play chords in the tune. So it sounded like this. And to achieve that, you kind of got to change your scale from going up and down, which, I feel like it's an easier way to figure out melodies is up and down. In my mind anyway, I'm sure everyone's different. And you got to find a way to move it where either the chords are, or bring the chords to where your melody is being played, right? Like play the chords where your melody is. But for me, I really liked how they were descending in that way and then reascending, so I had to flatten out the tune. So I'll give you an example of both of them going down at the same time. And so I found the easiest way to make that happen, once you've figured out the corresponding chords to the notes, and like I say, that requires knowing which chords are in a key and which notes are in a key. But honestly, you can just Google that and map them. Then you can trace your way through it quite easily. So, going on from there, and I should say at this point, for me, I'm not someone... Well, I like music, I like how the tune is, but for me, I'm driven more by like the mystery of the guitar, and at the moment anyway, I'm sort of focused on picking up as much skills as I can and learning some of the crazy skills that other people on YouTube have, because I want to know, how to do it, how to play them fast, and all this kind of stuff, right? So I've got this tune, I've got my cycling chords, and then I think to myself, how can I make it sound nicer? How can I make it more complicated? How can I make it like cooler, right? I want to, And so I tried to answer all three of those questions in the last song. So there's three. So that song essentially is 3 run-throughs of that pattern after the intro anyway. And so the first run-through was finger picking. So trying to take that tune and turn it into a finger picking descending song, I thought sounded really cool. And so for me, I picked a pattern. And because I can't hold the mic at the same time, I'll show you the repeating pattern, and hopefully... I've got tabs for it, right? So I can put the tabs on screen. Yeah, all right. I'll show you that descending picking pattern that I went for. Right, so that's the same thing, but with notes picked around it. Surprisingly complicated to add that little fifth note, this little guy. That last one. But that little note adds so much to this little picking section, because otherwise it's just dun 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 dun, which is fine, but it's just even, a little bit boring. So then, the next section through, I was kind of trying to go for something like cool, like a little bit of a guitar solo. I like scales. I've memorized the scales. I want to use them to make a tune that follows it, right? So, I guess what's interesting about this section is I jumped over some of the in-between chords to fill them with scale things. So I'll show you what I mean. So same descending and ascending chords. But this has got like a little scale bit in it. Right, so, something like that does require that you know the scale patterns all over the neck, which, is an exercise in memorization, but once you know them, it's very worth it. Maybe I'll talk about that in a different video anyway. But yeah, that's, and then the last round of that song, I was going for, it's actually this, so what I was mimicking is these sweeping patterns that I stole from the saxophonist who went viral on Instagram recently. Caleb, I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but I'll put a link to his song in the description, the Instagram song. The second half, when it gets really fast, he does these trills, and I really liked the patterns and how he was changing individual notes, and I thought, like, maybe I can translate that to guitar. And so this is where it changed a little bit, and I reversed around the order of some of the chords. So for this section, like, you do have to have a knowledge of arpeggios. Most of these are caged shape, and then I sort of alter the cage shape with extra notes to inflect and have, have different musical meaning, I suppose. But I'll give you an example. Again, it's the same descending chord order, and you'll see what I mean. So at the end of that solo bit, it jumps right into it like this. I'm writing a song like that, and when I'm coming up with something, it kind of starts with, for me, with technical and making it fancy, and then I find the music in it as I go. It's like, like you're drawing a bunch of lines on a piece of paper, and you just got to start drawing something. You got to put something on that piece of paper before you can fill in a shape that's turning up between them. Maybe for other people it comes much more naturally. I think I'm sort of more technical, and so I start with technical, and then I try and change it. And so there's a lot you can do with this. But really, starting with that melody is important. Okay, now I want to talk about times where you don't have a melody to start with, because most of the time I'm not like, there are these music guys that are like, oh, there's always tunes in my head. I can hear the music all the time. Like, I'm not one of those guys. For me, if I don't have a melody going on, but I want to write a song, and I always do, I'm always writing songs, what I sometimes will start with is like forcing it, right? Like, so I'll just change key, choose a new key, learn the new chords, wait for some chords to jump out at me, and then, so I'll show you what I mean. We'll start with, another one I like is C sharp minor. I'll put the chords up the top that I play, right? But, so I'll just take 4 chords, for example, these 4 chords. And then what I'll do, if I like those chords, I think those are quite nice, right? Many chords go together. There's so many combinations. What I'll do is I'll play those chords, and I'll prompt myself to make a melody. And the easiest way I've found to do that is either to record those chords and put them on a loop, and have them playing over and over, and try to improvise over them, try to let something come out of you through the guitar, But the easiest way by far, in my opinion, is to sing a tune or whistle a tune. And this is really weird at first because it feels like stagnant and it feels very strange. But once you do it a few times, you realize like, oh, it's the thing. It really is the thing. So what I'll do is I'll take those chords and I'll whistle a tune, and we'll just see, like, you'll see what I mean, right? We might even be thinking of similar tunes already, but this is part of what makes us all human. What I'm going to do is dangle this mic on my neck so you can hear me whistling, okay? Okay, that's not going to work. I'm just going to put the mic like here. Okay, so now we've got a little tune. I'll see if I can replicate that, what I just whistled, right? So hang on. And then start again like with the melody, right? So now we're back at the beginning of this video, which is I've got my little melody, and I'll either be choosing the chords that surround it to follow it, because that's just the kind of style I like. Like, I listen to a lot of songs where people are doing that with the guitar, where they're playing both parts, right? Like Pilafia or Ichikanito. Love that dude. So it depends on what you're into as well, but like, so we'll give that a try. I'll see if I can put that tune into some chords right now. We'll just see. then like you can hear it starting to come through in those chords. And you might have heard some variations going on by accident or nice. I like sevens. So in summary, what I recommend you do, either if you've got a tune you're whistling, that's where I'd start. Start with whistling a tune. If you don't have a tune that you're whistling, but you got some chords you like, get those chords playing on the guitar for you to whistle over, or record yourself just on your phone. Like put your phone there and whistle while you play guitar, and then you can listen back to it and mimic your voice with the guitar. And that process at first feels really hard, and I'll be honest, even when you know the scales, you know the notes, it takes a while to be able to sync them up and mimic it really easily. But it is probably the most worthwhile thing to practice, I would say, in all of my guitar playing. And I just feel like it's so funny because I used to watch guitar videos and people would say that, and I'll be like, "Well, I don't know what you mean." Like, but it really opens the door to like hearing a melody from you, hearing your own melody that you would put on the chords. Very worthwhile. Anyway, and then literally, you just have to decide what you want to do and how you want it to sound. And you kind of just have to do it. Like, I think there's this idea out there that these things come very naturally, and people are like, natural musicians, or they're not. But you can make music. You can make music with whatever you've got. Yeah. Anyway, tell me if you like this video, and if you like more tips like this, or if you want to hear more from me talking about music. I love talking about it. There are many mysteries on guitar that I just feel like no one told me, and I had to wing it up and learn along the way. So yeah, let me know and I'll make another video. Alright, bye for now. Hope some of this helped.